Well, welcome to a new Harry's Farm video, and as you can tell we are not in Burford this time. I was out doing a car review and I've come down to this area which is about 30 kilometres to the west of Saint-Tropez. It's the Val, beautiful stunning area. We're looking out through the Mediterranean and that is Ile de Port-Creux in the distance there, because here is the most beautiful estate, Chateau Léoube. And I know this estate because I drink their wine quite regularly. It's on sale at Daylesford. It's owned by the Bamford family and it's somewhere I've always wanted to visit. And very kindly, Jerome Pernod invited me down here and he's going to give us a look around the vineyards down there, because the way they manage the vines here is exceptional. It's a different way of doing it. It's organic setup here. I've always been tempted to do some vines on the farm back home. I think Jerome is going to tell me why not to do it, because there's a huge amount of effort goes into producing wine here. There's 560 hectares at Chateau Léoube, but actually the only cultivated vines, that covers 70 hectares, and then there's 20 hectares of olives here as well. And what makes it so unique here is how close these vines are grown to the sea. It gives it its natural climate down there. Frosts are just not a problem. The 70 hectares of vines produce around 350,000 bottles a year. 80% of the production here is rosé. There's some red and some white wine produced as well. So anyway, we're going to head down the hill and have a closer look of how these vines have been planted and set up, and the management of the fields as well. Well, thanks, Jerome, for this tour round.
Thank you for coming. A long way for you.
Well, it is, isn't it? But we had this nice car to come down in, so that was okay. But yeah. I'm just amazed at how you've set out these vines. And you were telling me a factoid. I had no idea why vines were actually in this area in the first place.
Here at Léoube, the chateau was built back in the 17th century, so long history of winemaking.
Yeah.
And the vines actually planted back in those days were to protect the properties built in this area from forest fire, because they tend to happen not often, but sometimes, like 4 years ago we had fires. And the particularity of the vines is a field will never burn completely, so they protect the properties from any kind of fires.
So these are a fire break then from, we've been up there and it's
exactly,
all, you've had a fire, haven't you, recently?
Fire break, natural fire breaks.
I never knew that. Okay, and the Bamfords bought this estate so many years, how many years ago?
1997, exactly,
97.
yeah.
And there were vines here, but not to the standard they wanted them,
exactly,
weren't they?
Yeah. So, big job. We had to rethink what needs to be brought into the terroir, that beautiful protected area, to bring back the quality of the vines to the best, so we can have the best wines possible. And look at those beauty.
I know, it's so green.
We are all organic and biodynamic, so green, no weed killer, no pesticide, no fertilizer, and they talk to you. Look at them.
Yeah, well the bit that got me when you first pulled up here was the fact that there was this level down. I thought, well, something's happened here.
I knew you will ask.
Yeah,
everybody does.
Something's not quite right here.
Yeah. So small field, and the reason we do those terraces.
Yeah,
it's fairly easy to explain. We are very artisan, so we do everything by hand here.
Okay.
And we do the harvest by hand. Okay. If those two fields were at the same level, on one just big area, all the grapes will be mature at the same time.
Right.
We will need a machine to harvest as quick as possible all the grapes which will be ripped at the same time.
Yeah.
So by having those terraces, this field, first of all, you see it's facing east-west. The rows are that way. And that field lower facing south-north. Okay. That means that field will be ready before this one. So the team will harvest this field before.
Yeah.
No rush, and a few days or a few weeks later, maybe we go to that field.
But the bit you're slightly missing out, and as a farmer I think, well, hang on a minute, how do I make my field nice low terrace down there and this one up here? There is a huge amount of work when you arrived to get the topography to do this. How do they do that bit?
That's the only time we have machines.
You have machines. What the machines come in, what happens?
So first of all, we need to look at the vines already planted, if they were healthy or not.
Yeah.
The healthy one, you don't touch them, you keep them as they are, and you look at the other field. If a vine is not good, you remove them and you start the terrace and then you plant.
Which you're doing over there. We went to have a look over there, and what got me there, huge variation in soil type as I looked across the field. That's all going to change, isn't it?
Yes, we have sand, clay and mica schist.
Yeah.
So you remember we are next to the sea.
Yeah.
800 million years ago, that area was covered by the sea.
Okay.
And the sea has left its seabed, which we called mica schist. It's a slate, basically, and that gives the salinity, the freshness, the minerality to the wine. So we're going to dig, and we're going to analyze the soil, and what goes back into the field will be applied on an even layer. So we will put the schist on the bottom, the sand in the middle to help the drainage, and the clay on the top to keep the moist underneath.
And the depth you're going to, so that field over there will
2
be
to 3 meters, you can see the drop.
3 meters. So you're digging and removing. You have the
it takes hell a lot of time.
Mountains of soil then
It's
to
incredible.
do this. And then you put it in those layers, and then if I look at that soil type across that field, it's completely even. It is perfect.
You want that plant to receive the same type of soil than the one on a corner. Because you want the same quality of grapes when you harvest everywhere in that field.
Well, that is a level
the
of
attention
management.
to details, it's crazy.
That is off the scale to say, no, I want that soil right across the field. I can't imagine it, but impressive.
It's incredible.
And the time period to do it. Okay, so that field I saw strip, the visor come off. So you then, now hang on, which one do you do? You strip it first.
Strip it first.
Okay,
Dig.
Yeah.
Prepare the slope.
Yeah.
For the drainage of the water.
To get it level so you don't get soil erosion from runoff and things. Yeah.
Put your layers.
Yeah.
Then, because you disturb so much the soil,
yeah.
As we want to respect nature, we're going to bring some natural nutriment into the soil.
Yeah.
So we're going to plant some crops, barley, spring barley, and that bring natural nutriments for about 2 seasons.
Okay.
And then we're going to plant again. So it's a good, if you put all those years together, a good 10 years investment
before
to
you get
have your vines who's going to last for another 60 years.
But you haven't harvested for 10 years.
Exactly.
God.
But that's what we do. It's quality. You love the rosé.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah,
and that's the only way to do it. There is no other way to do it.
Yeah.
As you know, if you take shortcuts when you process, when you do a product, which is in that case wine made with fresh grape juice, you need to look after the soil, the terroir.
Do me again. So I've done the soil disturbance. I've grown two seasons of spring barley. Then I'm planting the vines, and then I've got 5 years to wait before I take a harvest of grapes. I still haven't sold any wine yet, though, have I? So I've actually got another 2 years.
That's where you've got a rotation as well.
Yeah, but no, I'm starting from scratch. So I'm going to plant if I was going to do it to the Bamford standard.
If you want to do the best rosé on the market or the best wine, that's what you have to do.
I've got 12 years before I actually might drink my first bottle of wine. My goodness.
Did I pull you off?
Yeah, you're doing a great job, actually. Yeah, I don't know if I could do that. Right, so we've come down to some vines here, and I've stopped by these because what's going on here?
Aha.
So there's bunches of grapes on the ground. I can't. That's something.
Any ideas?
Well, I presume someone's come along and picked them and abandoned them. But
abandoned them, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we do to control the yield. So remember, we want to have very, very aromatic grapes.
Right.
Okay. If you have lots of bunch of grapes on one branch, there is not enough concentration of the flavor into all the berries because there are too many of them.
Really?
So that's what we call the green harvest, to lower your yield.
Right.
Obviously, it's not a waste because you're going
You
to
get
have
higher quality.
quality. Look at those. See, just a few bunch.
Oh, they look amazing.
Here we
Absolutely
go.
amazing.
And that will concentrate the flavor because there are only on this one just one bunch on that branch. Simple as that.
Does everyone do that?
Not at
No.
all.
Not at
Not
all.
at all. Well, it does, but we are pushing. You know, the attention to details at Léoube is extreme.
Well, it must be.
It's
Well, you must be
intense labor and skilled labor because they need to look at which one they're going to remove and leave on the floor and keep the best one.
But I think there's almost half the harvest already gone. Is that?
But you've
about-
got 50% or even 100% better quality wine because
and
of
that's
that.
better. You do 350,000 bottles a year. You could probably sell 500,000 if you didn't do
Yeah,
that.
but you will not drink it
No?
because the
It's a-
quality won't be the same.
It's a better business to do that.
Let's not talk about it. We're talking about quality.
Quality. That is the drive. Well,
Exactly.
I'm amazed that you do that. And to a farmer, that just seems
I
weird.
understand, but
Yeah.
the best winemaker will do that. You know.
Really?
Yeah, that's important. It's part of the process of winemaking.
And the other bit I can't get over, even with this area of vines, 70 hectares, 150 something acres, it's all done by hand.
All by hand. But look
Yeah.
at them. Look,
Well,
there is no white spray
No.
on it. Nothing.
Well, no.
The trimming is made by hand. The
Yeah.
winter trimming as well.
Well, it's an obsession, isn't it?
It is,
Almost
it is an
to make
obsession.
it. And then
It's passion. It's love.
yeah, it
if
is.
you don't love your plant, the soil,
yeah,
you're missing something. Respect the nature. We are nurturing the nature here.
And the other bit I can't get over is how clean the ground is where we're walking as well. And you
No weed killer.
with no weed killer, no
Yeah.
weeds, no grass, no. That's
It's easy. You bring some sheep in spring,
yeah.
and they're going to do the job for you.
So this field then had vines in it. They had the original vines in it.
Yep.
And then he decided they're not good enough.
Let's remove them.
And now look at it. Yeah. So this is what you're left with.
You see a different color of the soil? Let's walk a
Yeah.
little bit.
Well, I can't get over. I would hate to farm this. The
We need to keep
stones-
those. This is
You like this?
gold for us. This is gold.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's what I was saying. The mica schist. So look at that.
Yeah.
This
that
is the
amazing.
seabed, 800 million years old,
Okay.
and that gives the freshness, the minerality,
That's got
the
all the minerals in.
salinity to the
Right.
wines.
It's very soft, isn't
Yeah.
it? You were just talking earlier about harvesting, and it's actually come earlier for you.
We indeed, yeah, we used to harvest very early September
Yeah.
for many years, and for the last 4 years the harvest came forwards. Last year we started harvesting August 21st, so you can tell the climate has changed.
And to ask a simple farmer from Burford the difference between rosé and red wine and white wine, where's the difference come in?
Not on the grapes, funny enough, we use the same grapes, mainly
Yeah.
Grenache, Cinsault, Syrah, Mourvèdre, Cabernet Sauvignon,
Yeah.
and those grapes can be used and will be used to make red wine or rosé, and it's
Okay.
the wine making process will make the difference.
And that all happens in a giant
there,
building
yeah.
down there. Well, let's go and have a look at that now.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Oh wow. This is nuts. I'm baffled by the amount of machinery here. I think this is where it all starts, isn't it?
That's the press, yeah,
That's the press.
for the rosé wine making.
Okay. And the difference between a Chateau Léoube rosé and a red wine is something to do with this press, is it? Or
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
So to make rosé, there are, let's say, 2 ways.
Yeah.
You can start to make a red wine. That means you leave the skin with the juice for a few weeks,
Okay.
and that gives the color to make red wine.
Okay.
So instead of leaving the skin with the juice, the maceration for a few weeks, just a few hours, and you've got some clear rosé.
I see. So it's a
But that
hint of-
process
yeah.
will give you a bit of tannins because the skin, I'm sure you chew the skin, gives a bit of tannins,
Yeah.
bitterness. So we
Okay.
don't want to be in that league. So what we do, the grapes arrived outside, they're already sorted by hand. And we do what we call a direct press.
Okay.
So we put the grapes here inside the press, which is going to press gently all the grapes and turn. And the time the juice goes out of the press, which is about 2.5 hours, we'll have a little bit of coloration from the skin,
already,
but no maceration, no bitterness, very juicy, fruity juice. And then you start making the wine.
So all the juice is then
into those beautiful tanks. We control the temperature.
Yeah.
We make the alcoholic fermentation, and you get some beautiful Chateau Léoube Rosé.
And I'm guessing there might be some in here we might be able to try, isn't there? One of these or
one of these.
Is there a little? Oh,
look at that. Chilled.
Look at that. That's chilled already. Look at that.
Rosé Secret 2019.
The secret is that's the best you do, isn't it?
Well, I won't say the best, a different one. It's a smaller production. Here we go. Cheers.
Cheers. That is the most delicate.
Made with old vines and Cabernet Sauvignon. Lots of Cabernet. Love it.
Yeah. That's just showing off having a thing like that. That's a hell of a party, that is, isn't it? Tapping in there. That's been great, Jerome. Taking us around. I hadn't realised just the detail you have to go through. It's
important to make quality wines, yeah.
Yeah, and I think you've done a successful job of putting me off putting any vines in, because I just can't get over
it's
the amount of
time-consuming
hand labour and to do it, and I'm never going to get anywhere near this, so I suppose I'll just carry on being a customer.
Exactly.
That's the way to do it.
Thanks.
Brilliant. Oh well. Well, there you go. I hope you enjoyed this Harry's Farm special out in Provence. A very different flavour to it. I think the next video will be back home and harvest will be just about to happen. So see you then.